Hi everyone, and welcome to video number 4 of my entire DVD collection. Over 4,000 titles that I'm going to be showing you over these videos, so please like, subscribe. I have created a playlist as well, so all of the videos, you can find them in one playlist on my channel. Now I'm going to be showing these videos quite quickly, so if there are movies that you do want me to talk about later on, then leave a note in the comments and I'll circle back to that once I've finished doing all of this. But yeah, let's get on with it. The Da Vinci Code. The movie of Dad's Army. Great looking cast who all suit the roles, but I didn't really enjoy this one. Fred Astaire in Daddy Longlegs. Directed by Stuart Gordon, an H.P. Lovecraft adaptation, Dagon. A Fox film noir title. We've got Joan Crawford here with Henry Fonda in Daisy Kenyon. And Sybil Shepherd in Daisy Miller, directed by Peter Bogdanovich. Great performances from Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto, Dallas Buyers Club. And Louis Malle's Damage with Jeremy Irons and Juliette Binoche. Busby Berkeley musical, Dames. A Stanley Donen musical, Damn Yankees, with Gwen Verdon. Joan Crawford in The Damned Don't Cry. And Steve Carell in Dan in Real Life. Great movie. I did a video recently about murderers who had been hanged by Albert Pierpoint. And here is one of them, Ruth Ellis, played by Miranda Richardson. This is Dance with a Stranger. From Lars von Trier and starring Björk and Catherine Deneuve, Dancer in the Dark. Great edition this of Kevin Costner's Dances with Wolves, the full version. Michael Kitchen in Dandelion Dead. Nice film noir this, set on a cruise liner, Dangerous Crossing. Great movie this one, Dangerous Liaison. Absolutely fantastic performance from John Malkovich. And we have Glenn Close and Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer again in Dangerous Minds. And Anton Walbrook in Dangerous Moonlight. Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall in Dark Passage. And Johnny Depp in Dark Shadows. John Carpenter's Starting Point, Dark Star. And Darkness, starring Anna Paquin. Excellent submarine movie this, Das Boot. Keir Dullea in David and Lisa, directed by Frank Perry. Got a double bill here of Davy Crockett movies. Denis Leary and Liz Hurley in Dog. Great movie, George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And then we've got Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead and Romero's Land of the Dead. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And The Day After, which came out pretty much around the same time as the BBC's Threads, which I would say is the more intense and disturbing film. Francois Truffaut's Day for Night with Jacqueline Bisset. And George Romero's Day of the Dead. I love this cover. George C. Scott in The Day of the Dolphin. Superb movie this, Fred Zinnemann's The Day of the Jackal. Career best performance from Edward Fox. Love this movie as well, The Day the Earth Caught Fire. A great underappreciated John Gilliman film, The Day They Robbed the Bank of England, and this was the film that brought Peter O'Toole to David Lean's attention, and he cast him then in Lawrence of Arabia. This is more of a news footage film, Days That Shook the World. Don Johnson in Dead Bang, in which he throws up on a criminal. Dead Girl. Johnny Depp in Dead Man, directed by Jim Jarmusch. Sean Penn, Susan Sarandon, Dead Man Walking. Great compendium of stories, Dead of Night. And classic Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society. Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry Callahan in The Dead Pool. Great movie from the Hughes brothers, Dead Presidents. Stephen King's The Dead Zone with Christopher Walken. And Brittany Murphy in Deadline. Sidney Lumet film, very John le Carré-like spy thriller, The Deadly Affair. Dear Wendy. Interesting film this, The Death of Mr. Lazarescu. The 1978 version of Death on the Nile with Peter Ustinov. Death Proof. Michael Caine and Christopher Reeve in Death Trap. World War I horror in Death Watch. Classic Charles Bronson in Death Wish. And Death Wish 2. Death Wish 3. Then I've skipped Death Wish 4 to go to Death Wish 5. Pasolini's The Decameron. Not really sure why I have this. I don't really like Jack Whitehall, but here we go, Decline and Fall, although it does co-star Stephen Graham. Really like this one, directed by Peter Yates, The Deep, with Robert Shaw and Nick Nolte, Jacqueline Bisset. Deep Blue Sea. Tilda Swinton in The Deep End. Dario Argento's Deep Red. And Deep Water, really good documentary about Donald Crowhurst's sail around the world. Deepwater Horizon. Michael Cimino's The Deer Hunter. Albert Brooks, Defending Your Life. And Gabriel Byrne and Greta Scacchi in Defense of the Realm. Jeunet and Caro's Delicatessen. Fantastic movie by John Boorman, Deliverance. Chuck Norris ×3, The Delta Force, Stealth Force 2 and Code of Silence. Bit of Hammer horror with Demons of the Mind. Scorsese's The Departed. Clive Owen, Jennifer Aniston in Derailed. George Clooney and Alexander Payne's The Descendants. James Mason in The Desert Fox. And Mason again with Richard Burton in The Desert Rats. Gael Garcia Bernal and Jeffrey Dean Morgan in Desierto. And Michael Cimino's remake of Desperate Hours with Mickey Rourke and Anthony Hopkins. Susan Seidelman's Desperately Seeking Susan with Madonna and Rosanna Arquette. From George Powell, this is Destination Moon. Karen Kusama's Destroyer, starring Nicole Kidman. And Kirk Douglas in Detective Story. Classic Hammer, adapting Dennis Wheatley's The Devil Rides Out. Fashionable, The Devil Wears Prada. William Holden in The Devil's Brigade. Andrea Risborough, John Sim and Dominic West in The Devil's Mistress. Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects. Alain Delon in Diabolically Yours. And classic Hitchcock, Dial M for Murder. Forrest Whitaker, Sherilyn Fenn in Diary of a Hitman. Directed by Warren Beatty and starring him as well as Dick Tracy. Some more Hammer horror, Die Die, My Darling. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. I have Die Hard on Blu-ray. And Die Hard with a Vengeance. Kevin Bacon in Digging to China. Lawrence Tierney in Dillinger. Barry Levinson movie Diner with Mickey Rourke and Andrew McCarthy. Directed by Norman Jewison, Dinner with Friends. Don't put this one in the corner, Dirty Dancing. Steve Martin, Michael Caine, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Great movie, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Burton and Taylor, Divorce His, Divorce Hers. Classic Western, Franco Nero in Django. And Thomas Milian in Django Kill. Ron Ely as Doc Savage, Man of Bronze. Ralph Bates and Martine Bezic in Hammer's Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. Ewan McGregor in Mike Flanagan's Dr. Sleep. Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove. Richard Gere in Robert Altman's Dr. T and the Women. Al Pacino in the classic Dog Day Afternoon. Great movie from Neil Marshall, Dog Soldiers. Kevin Smith's Dogma. Christopher Walken and Tom Berenger in The Dogs of War. Really like this one, Lars von Trier's Dogville with Nicole Kidman. Nice low-key Stephen King adaptation, Dolores Claiborne, with Kathy Bates and directed by Taylor Hackford. Tom Hulse and Ray Liotta in Dominic and Eugene, also known as Nicky and Gino. Directed by Bruce Beresford, Don's Party. And from Wim Wenders, Don't Come Knocking. This was a comedy put out by Hammer. This is Don't Panic Chaps. Another one from Neil Marshall. This is Doomsday. Oliver Stone's version of The Doors with Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison. Classic film noir, Double Indemnity. A double dose of Elvis in Double Trouble. And Tony Leung and David Morse in Double Vision. Directed by John Patrick Shanley. This is Meryl Streep, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Amy Adams in Doubt. Documentary about an intense police incident down a dark stairwell. Edward Norton in Down in the Valley. Rita Hayworth in Down to Earth. Superb performance from Bruno Ganz in Downfall. And Peter Cushing in Dracula AD 1972. Christopher Lee in Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. Christopher Lee again, Dracula, Prince of Darkness. And then we have Dracula, The Satanic Rites. I also have this under S because it's also known as The Satanic Rites of Dracula. Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. A great movie this, Dragged Across Concrete. Vanessa Wu, Sammo Hung, Maggie Q in Dragon Heat. Kevin Costner, Dragonfly. Bernardo Bertolucci's The Dreamers with Eva Green and Michael Pitt. Albert Finney, Tom Courtenay in The Dresser. And then another version with Anthony Hopkins and Ian McKellen. Great Walter Hill movie, The Driver with Ryan O'Neal. And the Oscar-winning Driving Miss Daisy. Esther Williams in Duchess of Idaho. James Coburn, Duck You Sucker. Steven Spielberg's classic Duel. James Garner, Sidney Poitier, Duel at Diablo. Audie Murphy Western, The Duel at Silver Creek. And Gregory Peck and Jennifer Jones in Duel in the Sun. Another good animal movie from director Carol Ballard. This is Duma. And classic Disney, Dumbo. David Lynch's ill-fated version of Dune. Jeremy Irons in Dungeons and Dragons. John Mills in Dunkirk. And Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. This is a PBS documentary by Ken Burns, The Dust Bowl. And a special edition DVD here, director Richard Stanley's Dust Devil. On to the E's now, and we have Michael Caine in The Eagle Has Landed. Really good movie this, The Eagle Huntress. Taika Waititi's Eagle vs. Shark. And James Dean in East of Eden. Emma Stone in Easy A. A bit more Elvis, Easy Come, Easy Go. David Cronenberg's Eastern Promises with Viggo Mortensen, Naomi Watts. And a great edition here of Easy Rider. It also includes a book and the soundtrack. Ang Lee's Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. And some of British TV's The Comic Strip Gang, film in this version of Eat the Rich, directed by Peter Richardson. Can't show too much of this one, but this is Eaten Alive. And Matthew McConaughey, Ed TV. And we've got Michael Paré in Eddie and the Cruisers, 1 and 2. Okay, there we go for another video. Let me know in the comments anything you have to say about those movies. Please do stick with me for the next in this series. Like I say, there is a playlist as well, so check my channel, check the playlist, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you again, I hope. All the best. Bye-bye.